Assalamu alaikum everyone. Another quick video from me. So as you can see, death is not a disease that you can cure. We have some foolish and naive people who I think are scientists, and they are thinking to cure death. Death is not a disease that you can cure. And let's talk about what is death. You see, death is an experience. Now, how is that? You see, the real you is your soul, not your earthly body. And we don't die, we taste death. In popular culture, films, dramas, and books such as DC Comics, Marvel films, and also such as Arrow and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and similar, books culture, popular culture, books, films, they portray death as you die and that's it, and there is nothing after death. That is not true. That is incorrect. And another thing, YOLO, you only live once, that is incorrect as well. Let me explain further. You see, the real you is your soul, not your earthly body. Soul, known as ruh in Arabic. Now, is the soul real? The question asked by skeptics, is the soul real? And the answer is yes, the soul is real. Now, you see, there was this meeting amongst billionaires, scientists, billionaires and scientists and doctors. You can call it a secret meeting. And basically, they were talking about how you can, for example, say you have a car and you like your car and you want to keep your car forever, and so you want to replace the old car parts for new car parts, and that is how one way you can keep your car forever in your family, for generations, for the next generation, etc. So that example of the car was applied to the humans. And so one person in the meeting, this meeting, it's a so-called meeting. It's more of a thought experiment from myself, okay? But imagine there was a secret meeting in regards to what I am trying to explain. So one billionaire, one scientist, for example, said, well, why can't we apply the car example, the car theory, to the humans? So example, we have an old 80-year-old person, and of course his lungs are not working as it used to work when he was like 25, for example. So can we not replace old human parts for new parts? And one scientist said, yes, we can do that. We do have 3D printing technology, and we can print, for example, say organs that we can replace for people who need replacement organs, using their tissue, so the body doesn't reject the organ, etc., for example. But then another person, don't forget, this is a thought experiment, and this meeting can take place. I mean, it's possible. Billionaires and scientists who are atheists who, choose not to believe in God, choose not to believe in Islam, can do this meeting. So another person said, well, we do have a problem, and the problem is we do have healthy people with healthy organs suddenly die, suddenly experience death all the time, regardless of his or her age. And so, you see, they couldn't answer. I mean, they basically, had to stop the meeting because there is no answer to that. Like, if someone is healthy and they have healthy organs, then they shouldn't experience death. They shouldn't. Okay? And so with the car example, if your car is new and if the parts are relatively new, like new-ish, and your car should be working properly, your car shouldn't stop. So likewise, if someone is healthy with healthy organs, healthy heart, healthy brain, healthy lungs, healthy intestines, then he or she should not experience death suddenly. But he or she does. And you can Google this. It is known as the sudden death syndrome. And then you may have some doctors say, well, when someone is healthy and they experience death, they die in their sleep, his or her sleep, and some doctors may speculate, well, perhaps they had a silent heart attack. Now that's contradictory. That doesn't make sense, because when someone is healthy and has healthy organs, healthy heart and healthy lungs, then they shouldn't be having a heart attack. It just doesn't make sense. And now the next question is, what keeps us alive? And I have written an article titled What Keeps Us Alive. You can go to Amazon and type in What Keeps Us Alive by M.R. Abdullah for more information. So what keeps us alive is the ruh, is the soul inside the earthly body. Okay? And when the Creator Allah sends the angel of death, doesn't matter who you are, the angel of death will reclaim the soul. Don't forget, your soul, my soul, the owner of your soul and my soul is the Creator Allah. And when the Creator Allah sends the angel of death to, for example, reclaim my soul, that is when I will be experiencing death. So like I said, you see, the scientists of the future may be able to simulate consciousness, meaning, record your memories, your personality, and, put it in a algorithmic chip, and then put it inside our earthly lookalike synthetic human body. But that is just an advanced robot. Yeah? And that is not bringing you back from the experience of your death. Okay? That is not bringing someone back from the dead. By the way, we don't die, we taste death. We don't die, we taste death. This is very important to remember and understand. And the non-Muslims, especially skeptics and atheists, they don't understand. They think we die and that's it. But that is incorrect. The Creator Allah has given us free will, and free will is to do with good and bad, and also the free will is to do with reward and punishment. Okay? Or else there is no need for this free will. Okay? I mean, there is one of the reason the Creator Allah has created us and gave us free will is so the Creator Allah can test us. And when you have free will, then you are being tested. And the Creator Allah says this in the Quran, that Allah is testing us, and this life, I'm paraphrasing, this earthly life is the examination. So what I want to clear is that death is not a disease that someone can cure, and the real you is your soul, not your earthly body. And you see the soul inside the earthly body. The soul is invisible. So, for example, any scientist to catch the soul, you can't. You see, the soul is invisible, and so you cannot catch the soul to do experiments to try to, clone or copy the soul, and you cannot do that. And the Creator, Allah, has created our life experience program from beginning to end. So you see, life is permanent because the real you is your soul, not your earthly body. This earthly life is the examination, and when the Creator Allah sends the angel of death to reclaim the soul, this is when you experience death and your examination stops. And then, of course, depending on if you experienced death as a Sunni Muslim, then you passed your examination. But if you had chosen a non-Muslim life and you experienced a non-Muslim death, if you experienced a non-Muslim death, then of course you have failed. And having said this, the Creator Allah knows best. But you see, what I am trying to clarify and clear, what I am trying to explain is this, that there is no way in the future, doesn't matter 1 million years in the future, 1 billion years in the future, there is no way a scientist can actually copy a soul, clone a soul, because the soul inside us is invisible. Okay? And therefore, I did not create myself, and you did not create yourself, and it is impossible for us to create ourselves, because this soul, the real you is your soul, the real me is my soul, and this soul is unique. The soul is our souls. The soul is a unique creation by the Creator Allah, that which is invisible. And so the scientist cannot capture or capture and do experiments on the soul. As for on the earthly body, the scientists can, and in the past have done different kinds of experiments, in regards to advancing in medicine, etc., etc. So let me finish with saying, death is not a disease that you can cure. The real you is your soul, not your earthly body. And we don't die, we taste death. And don't forget, everyone, one day in the future, everyone will be standing in the presence of the Creator Allah, and that day is known as Judgment Day. And why I say this is that, you see, the Creator Allah has made us easy for us to pass the earthly examination. But if you choose arrogance and ignorance, and if you think you have become some top scientist and you can cure death, etc., etc., then you are only fooling yourself, you are only cheating yourself, because there is no such thing as curing death, because death is not a disease, death is an experience. And how do you cure an experience? You can't. It doesn't make sense, yeah? And like I said, we don't die, we taste death, okay? And we have to always remember the Creator Allah is supernatural and transcendent, meaning, outside, the laws of nature, outside science. But don't forget, it is the Creator Allah who created the laws of nature as well as the entire existence and everything. Okay? So, what I'm trying to explain also before I finish is that we should be grateful to the Creator Allah as a Sunni Muslim. We should be doing our main job, which is to worship the Creator Allah as a Sunni Muslim. That is our main job. Everyone seems to forget that. And don't forget, there is nowhere, you see, I did not create myself, you did not create yourself, and there is nowhere that anyone can create, herself or himself. That is just impossible. Also, if you look at the earthly body, it has 35 to 40 trillion cells, different organs, different cells, amazing, the central nervous system, the brain, the mind is something, connected to the soul, but the mind is amazing too. Another unique creation by the Creator Allah. What I'm trying to say is that there is nowhere that in the future, it doesn't matter how advanced the technology becomes, that anyone can bring someone back from the dead. And that doesn't make sense, because don't forget, we don't die, we taste death. So there is no bringing back. We experience death, and in Islam we say inna lillahi wa inna ilahi raji'un, meaning we will all return back to the Creator Allah, and the Creator Allah will decide on Judgment Day. Of course, don't forget, you have to experience death as a Sunni Muslim to pass the examination. This is very important to remember. We don't die, we taste death. We cannot create ourselves. That is just impossible. And I have mentioned why we cannot create ourselves, because the real you is your soul. The real me is my soul, not my earthly body. And the soul inside me is invisible. So something which is unique and invisible, I cannot capture, I cannot see, I cannot copy or clone. Okay, I hope you understand all this. Thank you for listening.